How many of you guys in this room would you say you have difficulty in finding the right trade? Okay. Now it's a very big misconception as, if I was to put it in this way, a lot of people are very focused on how do I trade? What's the strategy? How do I hit the buy button? How do I hit the sell button? As if that's where the money comes from. But when in reality, that's not where the money comes from. So for example, let's take a wide step back and saying everybody here knows about the property market, right? People work their entire lives, they take their savings, they put it inside a property, and they want the property to go up because it's a safe investment. And therefore, there's no substitute for a property. It can only go up because the population is ever so increasing and people want to buy houses, right? So people refer to that as that's the best thing to do. Now, would you go buy a house in the middle of the Amazon forest? It's a property. Would you go buy a property in Syria right now, in the middle of Syria right now? It's a property. So just because things are called a property, it doesn't mean you should just go around buying anything. There's a way to do it. Okay. So if you understand Forex trading is the way to do it, you have to understand, well, which one do I need to do today? And maybe tomorrow I shouldn't be on that one again. Okay. How many of you guys in this room know who I am? Okay. Okay. Let's start with the ego a little bit, right? How many of you guys know who I am and have met this brown guy on the screen before, either in person or you've watched my stuff or you've been through my courses and you've heard me rant and scream at you guys and love you guys and all that stuff, right? Like an elder brother or a father or an intelligent son, if you want to put it that way, whichever, or a stupid son. I don't know, like whichever way you put it out there. Okay, I can see a ton of you guys, have been with me for a long time. Okay, if you can just put into the comments first time, so I know how many of you guys in here are here for the very first time. You guys don't know who I am, never seen me speak before. I showed up on your screen, or a friend is forcing you to be here, and now you just see, oh, his accent sounded like he's someone from the West, but there's a brown guy on my screen. I don't know what's happening, right? So, okay, so I see if several of you guys here are first time. Okay. All right, all right. Some first time guys in here. Okay, so what I generally like to do always to start off with, let me get my screen sharing open. And please, when you guys see the screen sharing open, let me know so that way I know everything is fine and we can begin immediately. Okay. All right, give me a second here. Let me just get this loaded up. Okay. All right. Okay, here we go. I want to share my screen. Okay, the screen sharing should be up any moment now. So I asked the question of how many of you guys know me, do not know me, or anything like that. Let's start with this, okay? A lot of people go down the list of credibilities. I'm this, I'm that, 20 years in trading. Let's skip all that, okay? Let's skip the fluff, get into the meat. Shall we do that? This is what we generally do in these webinars. We jump straight into it and saying, let's tell it how it is. Let's give it to you straight. Whether you like it, you don't like it, don't care. But we got to give it to you straight so you have the right information at your hand. And what you do with that information, you decide. Okay, you decide. You are the boss of your own body and mind, right? Let's get you that right information and you decide. Okay, so let's open up this trade. This is a trade that is running right now for $108,000 right now. Okay, this is running for 94 standard lots. I got in at the price of 113.17. This is CAD yen, as you can see up here. And just today, this trade has gone up another $3,000. Okay, so far so good. Some of you guys are saying, are you human? Yes, I'm human. I am not an AI. I am a real human being. Okay. Oh, this is like this is gonna get messed up in the future, right? Like, prove to me you're a human, right? Okay. Um, so I wanted to start with this because I want your brains to be confused or at the same time being, how did you do that? I want to do that. And how do we do that regularly? How do I do that? How do you get those type of numbers, versus everything I see on YouTube is someone makes $10,000 and they make such a big fuss about it, but you're sitting here on six figures. We've done this multiple times on this webinars. I want to learn how to do that. What makes you look at a trade and say, I can't wait to put that much lot size? How do you get that conviction, that confidence to say, size up? How do you do that? So let's get into that today. Okay, so I've done this on purpose. We have some news events are going to release while we're in the webinar. We'll see how that comes out as well, and we'll go deeper into it. Shall we move to the charts now? Okay, I want to move to the charts. I want to get straight into it. We've got an hour together, more like 50 more minutes together. So I want to get to the meat of things. So that way, when you walk away from this webinar today, two things are going to happen. One, I can't wait to put everything he's told me into practice. And two, oh my God, that was a lot of information. I have to rewatch it and take everything down in notes. As of right now, you don't need to take anything in notes. Everything is recorded. Step back, watch, and try to focus. Turn off the cell phone notifications. Send the dog outside. Send the wife, husband outside. You stay here, focus, because what I'm about to share with you in the next 50 minutes can be the turning point in your trading career. Shall we? Let's do this. Okay, now I'll move away from my cell phone and let's go into the charts. All right, here we go. And I wanted to share something with you guys because the topic of today's webinar is, how do you know what the best thing is to trade, right? Okay, here we go. I'm going to share my screen and just please let me know when you see it. Okay. The screen should be visible now on your side. I'm going to open up just one chart so it doesn't get all over the place. I'll go up to the daily and I'll zoom in. This is that same trade that you saw, but this is just with my, P&L report. Sorry, not my P&L, my risk to reward report that you can see on it. Let me just remove some of these lines so it's easier to see. Okay. Now, I don't necessarily want to talk about this trade in general. You guys already know the history of this trade. There's plenty of webinars around this thing. This is now my third trade, running over $100,000. This trade is probably going to head up to $500,000. So there's tons of money available on this. I know a ton of questions are going to come around the broker. The broker I'm using is Interactive Brokers. I'm no way affiliated, compensated in any way, shape, or form by them. So at the moment of me doing this webinar, I have no connections or ties to Interactive Brokers. Have the other guys say that. They can't. All right, so just want to throw that in there. Okay, let's move on deeper. Okay, now, as we get into this, the question comes is, how? Okay, I'm going to draw on my screen. I hope you guys can see it. I'll make this in yellow. How do you know what to trade? Okay, how do you know what to trade? That's the golden question. If you solve this, you solve 80% of your trading issue. Okay, you have to really accept that information. If you can solve this, majority of your thing is now solved. Now, for example, be honest with me here is, how many of you guys have done a trade and the trade is like bam, 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 bam in your favor? I'm sure all of you guys have at one point have experienced that, where you've entered the trade and the trade's just working fantastically in your favor. Okay. Flip side, how many of you guys have entered a trade and the trade goes nowhere, 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 loss? Yeah? Another scenario, you've entered a trade, trade goes in your favor little by little, inch by inch, goes down, hits a loss, and it goes inch by inch in your favor, but you're not in it. Yeah? All of these conditions is not do you know which way? It has nothing to do with that. It's what you're choosing is a bad pair. Now, how many times have you seen you want to do a trade from a certain price? You want to do it from a certain price, and as soon as you get into a certain price at a lower price point, for example, I'll give it to you like this. Let's say you want to do a buy. Okay, your objective is to do a buy, and you're like, okay, around this area, I'd like to buy it, right? Around that area, I'd like to buy it. And as you buy it, it does this. You survive, you're not stopped out, you survive, and it's working in your favor, right? Similar scenario, I'm going to change the drawing a little bit. Similar scenario, you get into a trade, you want to buy it from a certain price, you miss that price, you get in here, and it does this. And then it struggles here, and it does that. And you feel, wow, I even got in late. I messed up on my entry, but it's still performing very smoothly. The difference between these two is pair selection. Okay? So let's start from the top and break down myth number one. Myth number one is I only trade so and so pair. Get that idea out of your mind. Myth number two, I only trade this time frame only. Get that out of your mind. You don't want to do that. Okay, when I do this, guys, I don't mean shoot yourself. I'm just giving an example. Okay. You want to get these things out of your mind, right? Because you have to look at the markets in a sense of this is a game of buying and selling. And you're like, come on, Brown man, really? I'm sitting up in the middle of the night for you to tell me trading is a game of buying and selling? Really? Right? I know what you're thinking. You're like, I didn't stay awake for this. Yeah. Okay. Now, the reason why I bring this up is as simple as that sounds, it's the most difficult thing for people to accept and actually internalize it. I kid you not. When I say trading is a game of buying and selling, everyone says, yeah, of course, I knew that. Yes, yes, yes. But when you put them on a chart, it's not about buying and selling. It's about how much money can I make? They forget that rhythm of buying and selling. And they go into how much money can I make? And there is a strategy that I have to do that is either Fibonacci related, RSA related, MACD related, pullback related, MA, moving averages related. And they get away from, wait a minute, you just told me you understand it's a buying and selling game. What's all this extra fluff that you're adding into it? Come back. Back to simplicity. You're making it harder than it is. And who's to benefit to keep you confused in this circle? The larger players. They enjoy the fact that you will fight against each other, arguing about what is the best way to trade, when in reality, it's so simple, so easy, but they don't want you to know that. They want you to constantly be in the shadows, and instead of fighting with them, they want you to fight each other. It's called divide and rule style, right? And then once you can't fight each other and figure it out, and it's like, no, MA is the best way. No, Fibonacci is the best way. No, structure is the best way. And as you fight each other out for whatever you think is the right way, then they add a shadow on top of it by saying, no, it's psychology. So let's blame one more thing. and call it psychology, because psychology cannot be measured. And when you cannot measure psychology, you're eternally at fault and can never come out of it. Eternally. Agreed? Yes or no? So we want to today take the reels back into your hands, take off that dog collar that you've been getting pulled with, and saying, how do I become free of this? And how do I finally understand this game? Okay? So we're going to start with the basic truth of trading. If you're watching this as a recording and you think you know better, skip over the basic truth and go on to the next part of the training. Okay? Those of you guys who are here live, you're stuck with me. You're going through the basic truth. I don't care if you're whining and crying, you're coming with me. Okay, so let's get into it. Okay. All right, here we go. Here we go. The basic fundamentals, you have to think of the basics sort of like the physical realm, right? The law of physics. There are certain things you just cannot get away from. Okay, you have to understand that. Okay, here we go. Now, between buying and selling, buy and sell. Okay, they are the two different entities playing in this thing. Okay, now, sometimes a big boy, okay, we'll call him BB. Okay, a big boy might be on the buy side. Sometimes a big boy might be onto the sell side. Sometimes the big boy is not on either side. This is important. Sometimes they can be on a buy, sometimes they can be on a sell, but there are times they will be in neither. So when there are on neither, and you are here because you trade Euro USD every day as a junkie, you're at Euro USD, but the market has nothing to do with Euro USD today, who's going to pay you your money? Where do you think the money's coming from? Okay, you have to understand one thing is, what do I do in the market? What's my job? Okay, what is my job in the market? And some of you guys might say, no, I don't do a job. I'm my own boss. I work for myself, dog. Right? So no, none of that stuff. I work for myself. I work from home, right? I don't go to an office and have someone talk down to me. I talk down to myself, right? Okay, let's understand one thing. For your entire life that you've been alive, whether you're in your 20s, in your 30s, in your 40s, 50s, 60s, and even in your 90s. We got some people in the 90s learning from us as well. Whatever age bracket that you are in, answer me one question. How have you ever got paid? How did you ever get money? You get money in multiple reasons. You sell a product. Okay. You provide a service. Or you simply inherit. Inherit basically means someone gives you a handout. When you give a beggar money, that's inheritance. When the government gives you money because you can't do anything on your own, that's inheritance. When you beg, right, that's inheritance. So you just get it for free because someone feels sorry for you. Or you got it for free because you got lucky. Okay, so we're going to put all the weird stuff in inheritance, which is begging is in there. You just ran into money due to a lottery. That's in there. All these things are in inheritance area. So leave that out because obviously you're trying to take your life into your own hands. We're not focused in that area. The two other areas is creating a product or providing a service. In trading, you're not creating any product. You are not creating a brokerage or a platform or the new New York Stock Exchange. You're not making a platform where you're purchasing a product. So that's not there. What's left is service. Remember, this is the only way you've been paid your entire life. You don't get paid to do this. You see this movement here and this movement down here? this movement pulled back to 75% Fibonacci ratio, and then there's an SNR, we broke the SNR, and then there's some MAs pointed upwards. And so did the next guy do that too. And the next guy did that too. The other guy drew it this way. He said the line goes this way, the MAs are down, fundamentals say this, that says that. Who's right? And why should you get paid for your opinion like that? If you come into this market and you say market going up, why should you get paid for that information? Who are you? Right? Unless you're going after the inheritance and you're saying, let me just gamble a little bit. Let me just gamble a little bit. Maybe I'm right. Okay, so then you're not going to get paid regularly. Understand that part. All of you guys in this room, do you want to get paid regularly, or is this a dream of yours to just see, let me see if I can make some money today on Tuesday at this time of the day? Is that your goal? Is that your dreams that you live for? Is I want to make some money today. All right, let's flip the coin and say, kumbaya, come on, baby. Is that the goal? So first, understand who you are. Understand what you're doing on a day-to-day basis. And you're like, I'm not rich. And you're trying to do something else again. I'm not rich. And you're trying to do it again. Remember, there's that popular saying, the word insanity means you're doing the same thing over and over again, but expecting different results. That is insanity. Okay? Crazy people, woo-hoo, right? Mental asylum stuff, insanity, right? Okay, now, how do we break free? So now let's get into that next chapter. If you know the game is about service, then let's find out, how do we get paid in this market without becoming Picasso and drawing a line and saying, I drew a beautiful line, I should get paid. No one's going to pay you for that. Okay, you want to draw lines, maybe on the street, you know, the roads where they have lines for lanes, maybe you get a job doing that. You can draw lines there and you get paid for that. Okay, but if you want to trade in this world, you got to play with these games. You got to understand what game you're entering and why someone should pay you, right? So when you start the day and you sit down and you say, I want to buy, the first thing you do is you open up your brokerage account, you see Euro USD, let's say you want to trade, and you say, I'm going to buy. The first thing you've done is you've provided money for the broker because he's provided that product and service for you. He's allowed you to trade on the markets. So he's provided a service for you. That's why he's getting paid. I want to ask why you're getting paid. Why are you getting paid? What did you do? You didn't do squat. Nothing. So where's your money coming from? Guesses? Can't be guesses. Strategies? Can't be strategies, because what you think is different to what the next guy thinks. Who's right? Okay, so it's not strategy. All right, here we go. Here we go. Let's get deeper into it. So there is an element, okay? There is an element. When prices move quickly in a certain direction, okay? When prices move quickly in a certain direction, I'm going to give you a 5-minute shortcut on what how this market works, okay? And where you fit in as a trader, not an investor, as a trader, okay? Know the difference between the two. Okay, when the market moves quickly in a certain direction, you need to understand it has nothing to do with this things up here. Not this, not that, not this, none of this stuff. It has nothing to do with that. And it has everything to do with this. Has everything to do with that. Time frames, take it out of your brain. There's no such thing as time frames. You can choose whatever time frame you want. You can choose between the time frames too. So if you're a 60-minute trader, I can tell you I can trade better as a 58-minute trader. How is that possible? What kind of lines are you drawing? It's not a line. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Okay, so understand one thing. So here's a shortcut. when things go quickly, so let's say they're hanging around at a certain price, and that price seems to be this one, 113.40. Okay. Is that price important? No, don't even worry about it. No math, okay? No need to do any math. Just it's 113.40, whatever that price is, doesn't matter. If it's Bitcoin, crypto, Forex markets, whatever it is running at this price. This is a representation. I hope I spelled it right. This is a representation of the action at the price. How many guys in this room are proud and you beat your chest and saying, I don't trade indicators because indicators are laggard, baby. They're laggards. They're nothing but the middleman. I don't follow the middleman. I go straight to the top. How many of you guys beat your chest and say that as if you've invented that idea? Okay. Probably all of you guys at this stage because you've been around long enough to know indicators is a waste of time, right? Okay. What about the charts? Why is the chart any different? It is nothing but a representation of what is happening at the price. So when you put all your focus on the chart, you lose control. You lose control because you're trying to analyze the representation rather than the reality of things. It's the same thing. It's an indicator disguised as a candle. Okay? And that is that shadow from the top coming in saying, price action, baby. Forget indicators. Now, I want you guys to fight each other with the word price action and psychology. Remember, if you can't figure out price action, it's your psychology, right? And then if you ever question the dome, we'll call that smart money, right? So whatever the case is, everyone has this, they pull out their swords and saying, my idea is better than your idea, right? Everybody has that internal conflict to show who's got the biggest kahunas on the street, right? Okay. Anyways, getting into this a bit deeper. Now, as it's representing a certain price, that means people, both buyers and sellers, are happy with this price. Remember, I said buy. There's two markets only, buy and sell. There's two players in it. Now, there is no larger player involved just yet. I'm just going to simplify it, okay? Just as a simple shortcut way for your brain to think, okay? And the more you think of it like this, the faster you'll accumulate to that's how the market works. Got it. Now I know how to position myself, okay? And suddenly you'll realize all the strategies you're working at, there is a portion of each strategy which is absolutely correct at the right time, but not every time. There's no such thing, okay? Okay, so everyone is happy to buy at this price and sell at this price, which means I buy $1, you sell $1. That's zero. We're not going anywhere. I buy $1, you sell $1, zero. We're not going anywhere. I buy $200 and you sell $1. Wait a minute. What about filling in my remaining $199? Right? Now, how many of you guys in here are like, no, please don't go into math. I don't want to do math. I don't understand math. All right. Let's super dumb it down a little bit. Okay. And that's okay because me, I'm okay. As much as I'm saying the word dumb it down, I don't want you to be offended by this because let me tell you, I myself take 10 times for the teacher to re-explain things over and over again before I understood it, when the entire class in my school and everyone understood it and they moved forward. And I'm sitting there scratching my head saying, again, I didn't understand that. I didn't understand. Sometimes it takes a little bit, and that's okay. And be proud that it takes time, but never be ashamed to ask again. Okay, that's the secret. Never be ashamed to ask again. All right, here we go. So let's say you sell one apple and I want to buy one apple. Okay, if I want to buy one apple, you sell one apple, great. You have nothing and I have no desire anymore. I got what I wanted, you sold what you had. There's no more desire whatsoever. Now, if I desire this many apples. I desire this many apples at this price, current price, but you say, I can only give you this many apples. Now, is my desire more than what you have? Yes. So then I take this and I take these two desires out, but I still have this much desire. I need the apples. I need them. So then I will go around the market, in this case, the Forex market. I'm going to go around and saying, hey, who's got these damn apples? I'll give you 113. Anybody? No? I'll give you 113.60. Anybody? No? I'll give you 114.40. Anybody? I'll give you one. Okay. Thank you. But I still have so much that I have a desire for. I still have this much desire. So whenever the price shoots in a certain direction, I don't want you to ever think, oh, that's the buyer buying it. No. That's the buyer telling you, I need help. No one is giving me this product. Help me. Let that sink in for a moment. I have a huge desire for the apples. No one has it. Help me. This is what they're asking. Not, that's a buyer buying it up. So then, stop. Understand, it's a buying, selling game. The buyer's not getting what he wants, and he's offering more and more and more price, but he's not getting what he wants. You, as a trader, say, I got it. I can help you. And as a service, if I can get my hands on a few apples, which I don't care for, can I sell it to you at a little bit more expensive price and you give me money for that? The guy will say, yes. If you can get me a few, I'll pay you a little bit premium on that. What you refer to as pips. But the pips needs to happen in this condition. Only in this condition can you earn pips. You cannot earn pips without that desire. So just because you can calculate pips doesn't mean you'll get pips. You can only get pips if someone needs it. And you can say, let me help you. And in exchange for my service, I'd like to get paid. That's how you get paid. That's your job as a trader. Do you understand? Yes or no? Okay. Do you understand at this stage? Yes or no? We haven't even gotten to the meat, right? So those of you guys who are watching the recording, this is where the meat begins. But for those of you guys who sat through everything we talked about right now, you're going to be far more successful than the people who fast forwarded until this point. I promise you that. So if you're not a lazy FOB or SOB, if you want to put it that way, go back and watch the important piece of what your job is in the market before you come here looking for a shortcut. This is not a short or a reel that you just flick through looking for the answer. If you're doing that, you're never going to make it. I promise you, you're never going to make it. Okay? You got to put in a little bit of work at least. And I'm trying to make it as easy as possible. All right, here we go. Let's go deeper. Okay, here we go. All right. Now, let's get rid of all this. And now let's talk about, okay, so how do I know what to trade? Shall we talk about that now? How do I know what to trade? So just like we talked about, where is the intention coming? Okay, now, by the way, if you guys allow me, I'm going to plug in a little commercial from my end, if that's okay. Okay. This is such an important question for me that I went ahead and developed a software for this. Okay. I went ahead and developed a software. My team did it. It's not me. My team did it. They developed a software and it's available on Apple. Okay. On Apple devices, whether you're on your Apple laptop or you're on your mobile device, it's called Market Beats. I'll show it to you towards the end. But I'm just letting you know that this is such an important topic for me. I don't want to ever miss figuring out what is important to trade. Okay. because there's so many options. Like look on the left here. There's like 28 options to trade. There's so many options to trade. How do I know which one is good? Right? So I need a system, an AI to do the job, look at everything for me and tell me where the action is, and I'll do the rest. I'll figure it out after that because at least I know that my focus is in the right area. Okay? So it's a tool. It's not a solution. It's a tool that really helps you focus in on, if you do anything around this, you'll probably make a lot more money than if you just scan through whatever, right? Okay. Anyways, I'll show it to you later. I just wanted to get that out there, that this is such an important topic that we went ahead and made tools around it. That's how important this topic is today. Okay? All right. So what to trade? What to trade? Here we go. Let's talk about this. I'm going to give you an example of this thing particularly here. I'm going to give you one basic example. I'm going to give you one advanced example. Okay? We're going to start with the basic and we'll move to the advanced because I think it's important for you to know both. Okay? So let's start with the basic. The basic example, I'm going to take you up a higher time frame. Don't freak out. Don't freak out. I'm going to show you the monthly. Okay, here we go. We're on the monthly. All right, for those of you guys who haven't panicked or fainted yet, let me just talk through this real quick. Okay, we're on the monthly chart here. Okay, the monthly chart, the prices have been going up for some time. Okay, remember, this price has gone all the way up to this price before complications happened. Okay, that's what I want to know. I don't want to know chart patterns and, did Fibonacci come in here and mess with the stars? And, I don't want to know all that stuff. I want to know what happened. Give me reality. Don't judge the reality. Just give me the reality. No judging. Okay. Now, the reality says prices were going smoothly to a certain price, and then complications happened. After the complications happened, prices resumed back up. Now, for those of you guys who are thinking, but this is the monthly, do you think that this price where they had problem and they went down and they went back up, do you think this also happened on the 60-minute chart, on the 1-minute chart, on the 10-second chart? Absolutely. If price moved, it's moved on every time frame. Okay, it doesn't just move on the monthly and says, and we will hide this information from the 1 minute. That's BS. It moves on every time frame. That's why the idea of it is not a time frame game, it's a price game. Understand what the flow is and make your money. Understand what the flow is and make your money. Here we go. Now, after all, once this pullback has come in, there was some complications onto this. From that complication, I'm starting to get interested and saying, I want to see what happens to that complication. So all of 2023 into 24, the complication fully gets reversed, and now they're fighting. Okay, now they're fighting in this area where the seller is reselling at the same price, but he's not as desperate as he used to be. Remember earlier when I wanted so many apples, right? And there was not enough people selling the apples, right? So that's why the prices started to shoot up, because I start saying, you know what? I'll pay more. I'll pay more. Who can get me apples? I'll pay more. The flip is true for a sell side. On the sell side, someone has a lot more apples to sell, but not many people want it. So what do? Okay, I'll lower the price. Come on, does anyone want to buy this? It's apples. They're going to go bad. I'll sell it for cheaper. Come on, somebody buy this. I'll sell it for cheaper. But not many people are buying it. So the intensity is far more important than the Fibonacci. The intensity is far more important than the SNR. The intensity is far more important than the time frame. Okay? It's the intensity. How quickly did they drop the prices gives me an idea of, oh my God, that guy must be super desperate. Why is he super desperate? I'm more interested in that, not where can I draw a line and I wonder if that line can make me money. No, no, no. I want to work for that desperate guy because that desperate guy can pay me. Okay? He can pay me. That's what you want to do. You're an agent in this market. You don't move the prices. What are you going to do with your one mini lot? What do you think you're going to possibly do? Okay, you and your band of friends of 2 million people with 1 million mini lot. What do you think you're going to do? Nothing. You can't do anything. If you understand and accept that, then you know, well, what can I do? And I gave you the answer in the early part of this webinar. Well, position yourself where you can make some money. Okay? So in this whole thing, did I teach you a strategy? No, I'm not teaching you draw this line, this and that. I'm teaching you, do you know how to think before putting this veil on top saying, oh, it's psychology. You'll never learn. Just keep attending webinars and we'll just dump psychology on you. No, 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 no. It's not psychology. It's never psychology. Okay? Well, it sometimes can be psychology, but we're not going to get into that today. Okay. All right, here we go. Okay, most of the problems in this world comes from the lack of education, the lack of right education. And you know that, I know that. You're just not brave enough to accept it. Okay, you hide behind your ego that you feel you know better. You don't know jack squat. You're here for a reason. Accept that. Why are you so humiliated and accept that you don't know? The moment you accept that, you're free. Your chains have come off. Your ego chains have dropped. Now you will listen. Now things will make sense a lot better. It'll go in easier rather than your walls that you put up of, I don't know what junk you've probably learned in the past, right? So just accept it, okay? All right, now, as the prices start to break free from this area, and then you see that intense aggression at that price, 108, where did that intensity go? They're not as intense anymore. It's the opposite. The buyer is getting more intense. So the buyer took everything up and said, I want more. I want more. I can't get enough. And he's doing it again. And the seller is not intense anymore. That's your basic knowledge of this thing's going to fly. This thing's going to fly. Your starting point of understanding. Okay? Now, for those of you guys who are educational junkies, right? You have this need, this craving to label everything. Here. Okay? Flag pattern. Okay? You have this need, right? You're just this desperate desire to label everything because it has to fit the way you were raised. Fair enough. Flag pattern. Okay, now that I gave you that educational word that you go after, is that going to make you rich? So drop that nonsense of trying to label everything. Screw the label. It's understanding what you're learning, not labeling what you're learning, because all you're going to do is vomit on the next guy and saying, look at all my knowledge. And the next guy is just going to be like, oh, so much knowledge acid on me. Great, you must be the king. Nobody's rich. What's the point? It's like, you entered this industry to make some money, then make some bloody money. Stop vomiting knowledge all the time. Okay? All right, here we go. All right, here we go. Okay. Now, so for those of you guys who saw the last webinar, in this era here is where we made $160,000, right? You saw that last webinar where we made $160,000. I'm still on this trade. So I gave you the basics. Now I'm going to talk about the advanced. Remember, I told you I'll give you two sides of the coin, the basic and the advanced. Here we go on the advanced. Okay, here we go. The advanced is I try to find out who else is showing me this type of desperation. Who else is looking for this type of desperation? And I'm going to go to the monthly here and look very closely here. On this monthly chart, look at what's going on here. Aussie yen, Swiss yen, CAD yen, USD yen, pound yen, euro yen. What's the common word that you hear over and over again? What's the common denominator? Sorry, I didn't mean to use math terminology. What's the common word you heard? Yen. All the yens are doing this. All the yens are doing this. Here, that same look. Here, that same look. Here, that same look. To me, this is no longer a CAD yen thing. This is the yen economy going down. I can now feel how bad the situation is. I can feel it in my bones. I can feel it in my nerve. Okay? And now I lean on that and saying, let's make some money, baby. Let's make some money. I know what they want. I know what the situation is. I want to now position myself to make some money. Once you identify this black box, if you want to call it, 90% of the work is already done. Now that 10% work is doing this basically. Okay, let me go down to, let's say, the daily chart or the hourly chart. And I know this is for a buy. All right, let me see how I can do this buy as safely as possible. Let me use all my skills of Fibonacci. Let me use all my support resistance skills. Let me use all my trend line and moving average skills to get in, because I know with the high probability of what the intention is. And now I am going to get paid on my strategy if I'm on the buy side. If my strategy says sell, that strategy needs to can it. We need to throw away that strategy. I don't care how good that strategy is, we got to throw it away. We know based on buy and sell, the intention is buying. Everyone agree up until this point? Can you feel the intention of the buy, or do I need to break it down into trend lines and this and that, because you only understand complicated stuff? The more complex, the more you feel that must be good, because look how hard it is. The true information is only in the hard stuff. No, the basics are all messed up. How are you going to even attack the hard stuff? You got to get that basic right. Yeah? Good. Wow, I'm surprised a lot of you guys are in this room. Not a single one of you guys have left the room. How many of you guys have been in this room so far since the beginning, since we started? That's amazing. That's amazing. Good. So this makes me proud to say, I know that the words might hurt, but the reality doesn't, right? Because you know you need to get over this hurdle and you got to solve this thing, right? You know that, I know that, right? So if it pinches your ego or your soul, let it pinch. That's the whole intention of this webinar. Pinch a little bit, get that fire started, get out there and solve the problem. Okay? All right. So now that you have an overall understanding of this thing, now I told you guys I was going to show you guys how this thing actually looks, right? Let me show you on my screen here. Okay, I'm going to switch my screen real quick. Tell me when you see it. Here we go. And here we go. So this is the iOS device, right? This is the iOS device. And I'm going to open up Market Beats, which is right here on my screen. I'm clicking it. It's open. All right. So we got some updates here. This is the 1 hour chart, as you can see down here. This is Market Beats. We've made it on the desktop. It's very professional looking and very serious looking. On the mobile device, it's more friendly looking. It's how do I explain it? It's more user friendly, if you want to put it that way. Okay. Okay. Now, when you look at this, one of the things you want to understand is this is the hourly chart. 4 hours ago, pound and Swiss franc were very, very active. I'm going to show you this thing on the pound, on the Swiss franc. Ready? I'm going to show you this thing. So I want you to observe, what does this mean? How can I use this information? Because I can't just look at a bear saying pound and Swiss franc and be like, Okay, money's going to be in pound. What do I do with it? How do I know? Like, how should I position my? Let's go over that, right? Should you guys want to? Do you guys want to, do an example together? Maybe we can do two examples together, so that way how do I do all of this stuff together with this app? How can this app help me to put my focus in the right place? Yeah. Okay. So we're going to do a few examples. So we might go over the hour by a little bit, but I think if you guys want to stick around and see how this is done, I think it can be a lot of fun actually. Oh, okay. So I'm going to move. This is the hourly chart. It says pound and Swiss franc was hot 4 hours ago. So let me open this up on our charts here. Okay. And I'm going to go straight into the advanced way of doing things, how I was talking about correlation. So I'm going to open up pound. Okay. We're going to go to the 60-minute chart. Okay. Now, if we're on the 60-minute chart, this was 4 hours ago, right? Approximately. This is 4 hours ago. Yeah. So this is the current hour, 2, 3, 4 hours ago. It's around here, approximately. Okay. Where things got very, very hot on the pound. And we have one on the Swiss franc. Okay. Let me see if I can find something that is very, very close. Okay, let's start with this one, then I'll show you a smaller time frame one where the action is a lot faster. Okay, so let's start with the 60 minutes, and what we'll do is 4 hours ago puts us right at this spot, and as the market moves, it will start giving you activity. Now, what this app is looking for is quietness and then intensity across the market. It's not just checking let's say pound USD. It's not just checking that. It's looking across the entire pounds. It's listening very carefully, and it's saying when they go desperate, and there are certain things that we do that we fed the algorithm for machine learning to really pinpoint the desperation. Because it's the desperation of the big boy is if we position ourselves with that desperation, we're going to get paid. So if the big boy is not desperate in, for example, euro, why waste time looking at euro? Who's going to pay me? I can draw and do everything I can do because the market is open, but who's going to pay me? There's no demand. There's no requirement. So as an agent, what am I doing there? It's a waste of time. It's a waste of time, right? Okay. So when we look at all these things for several hours ago on this thing, what it does is it spots heavy activity, heavy activity. And like I said, with some proprietary information where you're able to go to a lower time frame. Right now it's 5 p.m. my time, right? It's 5 p.m. my time. So 4 hours ago puts you at 1 p.m. Sorry, that's a little bit earlier. 1 p.m. around here. So you're getting this activity because of this extensive move that's happened here. It spots that there is some high level of aggressive activity across the board. It's not just happening in one place, it's happening across the board. Now, going to that question of what do I need to trade today? So I see all of you guys, I want you guys to try to answer the question before I give you the answer. Okay. All of you guys in the chat, that's your challenge. Okay. I am now sitting here. I say, okay. So the app has told me pound is where I need to put my focus on to make some money on this thing. Now, if I look closely, this has happened because of the drop 4 hours ago on all the pounds. Okay. It has happened around that time. So all this drop that's happened is telling me pound, focus. Now I come to pound. What should I do? Buy or sell? What are they telling me? What's the desperation telling me? Which direction? It's not telling me what you should do. It's telling me what they think is happening. Sell, right? Okay, good. So now that I know it's a sell, I don't want to sell at these prices down here, at these nasty low prices, right? I don't want to sell down there. I don't want to sell down there, right? I don't want to sell down there. I need to get some sort of a discount also because I need to buy these apples at a good price and then resell them to the desperate guy for a little bit more premium, right? For a little bit more premium, right? Simple supply and demand is what they label it. But then now you understand, right? Someone wants it and you will have to give it to them. And they give you some money for it, right? Okay. Now, if you watch all this stuff, do you see my MAs on this thing? Let's use the appropriate reason for why an MA is on my chart. Up until this point, have you heard me talk about because your MAs are doing this, hit the sell button or hit the buy button? No, I will not say that. Notice the flow on this one is down with the MAs. The flow on this one is flat with the MAs. The flow on this one is down with the MAs. The flow on this one is up. The flow on this one is up. The flow on this one is down. Now, if the objective for us is to sell, right? The app said pound is where the action is. And when we look at the action, they're desperate selling. Okay. The MAs give us an overall overview of what the trend is. The trend means who's the super bigger desperate guy? Which direction are they going? Where is that desperation taking them? I don't want to go against the flow because they're not desperate to sell in an uptrend. No. So pound New Zealand is out. I don't want to touch that one. Good. One out of the way. Next. Okay, this one is flat. It's going sideways. Pound CAD is out. I don't want to mess with that. No. Pound yen is an uptrend. I don't want to sell in an uptrend. No. We're down to three. How do I pick the best one where I know my chances of making money increases? Pound dollar downtrend, pound Aussie downtrend, and pound Swiss downtrend. Now, look at the angles of all of them and tell me, who do you feel is the most desperate out of this thing? Once you start to get the hang of that, now you want to put all your skills to the test of your SNRs, your Fibonacci, your supply and demand, your round numbers, your game theory, your Bollinger Band, and retracement into the... You get what I mean, right? You get what I mean. No need to drag this out. You get what I mean. You want to position yourself in those currencies, which means target one, I would prefer this, I would prefer this, and then I would prefer this. We're down to three. You want to even get that number even tighter. Now, at the same time, we saw Swiss show up in the alarm. Swiss is also desperate. Okay, here we go. I want to check Swiss as well. Sorry about all these drawings. I just want to check Swiss as well. I want to check Swiss on the 60 4 hours ago, and I want to take a look at it from a lower time frame. 4 hours ago, okay, which is around 1 o'clock, and around 1 o'clock puts us right around here. So I see Swiss going down. In this case, going up because it's inversed. It's white color. It's inversed. Going down and going down. Now in Swiss, everything is downward flow, which means Swiss says, I have no problem. You pick anyone that you want. So now you're looking for, why would I pick any when I know pound and Swiss, they're both desperate to go down? Position yourself. When the discount comes in, you know you need to sell. Okay? You have this super high inclination to sell, whether you look at it from an SNR, 50% retracement, whatever that stuff is that you do, your mumbo jumbo voodoo stuff, your odds will increase dramatically because you've chosen the right pair. Even if you screw up on entering and you enter late and you say, I didn't have the best price actually, it will still favor you versus doing something that is not good, right? Versus trading, for example, Aussie. And it's like, Aussie is not moving at all. What are you doing in Aussie? and then you do a trade and it's immediate stop loss because there's no rhythm, there's no flow, there's no desperation. Okay? Did you guys understand what we just did there? So the app is not telling you what to buy or what to sell. It's pointing you in the right direction and says, go put your focus there, figure it out, because it's going to save you a lot of time looking for this because it's looking for you. This is important to me because I don't need to be glued in front of my screen all day long. I want to know if I need to look for something, right? Otherwise, it's a waste of time. If no one is desperate, why am I going to sit in front of my screen all day long? I don't want to do that. You don't want to do that, right? Does that make sense? Is everything going in and making sense to you guys? Shall we do one last example? This is a smaller time frame, which is like a 15-minute chart that you can trade from a lower time frame, like a 5-minute or a 1-minute. Don't recommend trading off of a 1-minute. Competition is a lot higher now with the algorithms and stuff, but can be done, okay? So let's take a look at the 15-minute one. So let me change the screen back and let's take you to the app again. Here we go. Here we go. This is the 60. Here's the 15. Okay, on the 15, 17 minutes ago, okay, 17 minutes ago, they're saying pound, CAD, USD, Aussie, New Zealand, Japanese yen, Swiss franc, everything is active. Now, why is everything active? Well, the news probably just came out 17 minutes ago, right? 18 minutes ago. There must be a news event that caused this dramatic movement across the board that's shown desperation. So what's 18 minutes ago? Let's have a look at that. Okay, and why all these pairs? What are they trying to show you? Okay, let's have a look. All right, here we go. Going to the screen. We're going to do it the advanced way, okay? Don't just shortcut it. Go look at the whole group. Look at everything related to that currency. Okay, it takes a little bit of work, but how little is little? If it's going to pay you more, then do the damn little work. Stop being lazy. Okay, all right, here we go. So pound was one. We already saw pound. Let's go to CAD. Okay, CAD is the other one. I'm going to take you down to the 15 minutes. And they said 18 minutes ago, there was movement. What's that movement 18 minutes ago? It's this. It's this piece. That one. That one. Okay. That one. Nothing really there, right? That one. That one. And this is on the downside. So that one. 18 minutes ago, which is a couple candles ago, right? So it's telling you this is hot. And when you're looking at this and you're like, this is hot. Really quickly, okay, you tell me which one can I not trade? First of all, tell me which direction. Why is it hot and which direction are they desperate across the board? Then you tell me which one I should not trade. Go, 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 go. Let's go. You're on the clock. Tell me. Okay, some of you guys are saying the news was core retail sales. Great. Okay. All right, you guys are saying buy. Okay, so Shazia Begum, yep, that's correct. Buy is the one. That's correct. So we want to be doing that. Okay, but now when you look at the whole, which one do you not want to do? Okay. Some of you guys are saying USD CAD. Okay. All right, USD CAD is one because that doesn't look like it's a buy flow. But also don't forget the MAs, right? If you just look at the MAs I have overall, do you want to buy if you have a downtrend like this? Do you want to buy if you have a downtrend like that? Wait a minute. Downtrend on pound CAD that's telling me to buy. What do you just know about pound that we came from the 60-minute chart? Pound was selling. Oh yeah, no way I'm touching that one. I know what pound is up to. I'm not touching that at all. They're trying to sell. The small time frame says that they want to buy. Screw the small time frame. They don't have money. The big time frame's got the money. Okay. Euro, look at the MAs. Flat. I don't want to help them. Aussie CAD, a little bit of an upward angle. Okay. Who else has an upward angle? Not much, actually. Okay. Upward angle, we have USD CAD, but USD CAD doesn't look good, right? So we're down to Aussie CAD. Aussie CAD seems to be the best player that says, if you can get your hands on some kind of a discount, if you can get your hands on some kind of a discount on this, let me go down to the 5 minutes, which means any kind of this stuff, you make up whatever you want to make up. Oh, SNR, ooh, flag pendant, ooh, Fibonacci retracement 50%, ooh. Chances are your buys are going to be smoother because you chose the right pair. Now, all the mumbo jumbo that you've trained with will work. All the mumbo jumbo will work. Suddenly, you're going to look like a god amongst your friends, and they're going to be like, how did you know? Like, yeah, I look out for bears falling out of the sky. Be honest with them, right? They'll be confused, but you can be honest at least. Okay. All right. Now, how was everything today? Did everything make sense? Okay. We went through a lot of stuff. We went through some of the basics, just to recap it, we went through some of the basics. We went into how do you spot something that's very, very powerful, right? And how do you know where to put your money in? I've shown you my personal live trade that I'm in right now. It's running at $100,000 plus right now. And there's a lot more juice left in it. Now, question number one, monthly chart. Does that scare you? Shouldn't. It shouldn't. It's not a time frame game. It's a price game. If price is going up on whatever time frame it is, that means that price is on every time frame. You can't run away from price. So if it goes up on the 60, you can bet your butt it's gone up on every time frame. Okay? So you want to keep that in mind. So highest priority is on the higher time frames, lowest priority on the lower time frames. That's why they go after the word calling top down. Today, you know what that label actually means, top down. Okay, the intensity of the bigger player on a higher time frame that you spot is far superior than the intensity you'll see on a lower time frame, because that could be short-lived. Now you understand what top down means. It is not a vocabulary for you to memorize to vomit acid of education onto the next guy. You now understand it. You now know what that means. Okay? Okay, gentlemen, thank you all for coming, ladies and gentlemen. I appreciate you taking your time to be here. As always, it was great. I hope you guys will enjoy the new app that we have made. It's also available on your desktops. The desktop one, I want to show you guys. It's actually fantastic. I hope you guys have a chance to try that one out as well. Whichever one you pick out, the desktop or your mobile device, I believe it will give you access to both. I believe the membership is connected to both, so you won't have to worry about purchasing it double. Yeah? Thanks a lot, gentlemen, and hope you guys do exactly what I mentioned in the beginning. Either there's a lot of material that you're going to be like, oh my God, there was so much, I have to rewatch it again. Or you're going to have that itch in your hand saying, I can't wait to do this on my charts. I can't wait to apply this knowledge. Whichever case it may be, the promise always stays true. At Urban Forex, time is valuable. We don't want to waste that time. From our courses being short and to the point, to our webinars, even though they're an hour long, we want to make sure you understand that you can apply the material instantaneously. Until next time, gentlemen and ladies, bye for now.